Hey everybody, this is Jose. This is a sound check before we start the session, just to confirm that you hear my voice so we can start on time. Please go ahead and type a quick message on the chat box just to confirm that you hear me. Start on time. That's perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's it. We just reached the top of the hour, so it's time to begin. Let me maximize the introduction slide so we can have a proper organized beginning of the session. Very nice to see you all. I'm looking at the names in the chat box and so on. Very nice to see you guys. Very, very good. Thank you. So let's begin. Hello everyone. Today is July 30, 2019. My name is Jose Blasco. I will be your guide. And I will be guiding you in this short-term session. So today we are getting together and we'll be doing intraday trading. Most of the trades I would envision to be futures trades. We will certainly also look into the Forex markets and identify all those different market opportunities wherever they are. Before we start, as always, we have a disclaimer, so let's go for it. The following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradictive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only, and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through the demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive when using our products. And this takes care of the disclaimer, and therefore we are ready to get started. As I always say, here is our beautiful trade station, even more beautiful, the beautiful shiny UFOs. And talking about beautiful things, here's a beautiful flow chart that we got introduced to on the last sharpening session that we did over the weekend. And of course, we're gonna be following this process as we were doing even before the flow chart was available, but hopefully the flow chart also helps you to think in a way that is more structured, and therefore not to skip steps, not to skip any confirmation, not to skip any action that would lead to higher probability trades, okay? Anyway, so let's begin. What do we have? We're gonna start with the equity index markets. We got the S&P. We also have the NASDAQ Futures in front of us. So in front of us actually is the S&P Futures, as you can see. The symbol ESU19. So we have the S&P falling nicely. We had a very, very good opportunity for an entry using that UFO earlier, confluence of UFOs. This entry was taking place at this moment in time, around a little less than an hour ago. A very nice trade that is running at the moment. Okay, but we're gonna be able to identify other trades of this type. Okay, so what do we have? The S&P is falling. We are in a down market. You can see that the prior close took place below the average, and this movement to the downside is confirmed by the ruby color DMI, indicating a climate which is a down market, and this is confirmed. So when the climate is confirmed, what our diagram says is that we need to find the final target, okay, but we do this using the next common time frame, and the next common time frame is not going to be the 15, it's going to be the 60-minute time frame. That's where we'll be looking for those on-field orders. Okay, so turning on UFOs, and we have to compress and compact to find on-field orders. Now, interestingly enough, there is nothing at all close by. Okay, I mean, there are certainly on-field orders in places, but the app is identifying the data available as low quality. Notice how if I change the setting to false for height hit UFOs, I'm pretty sure we'll get green zones appear. Okay, and since we are doing intraday trades, we don't want to be too hopeful with those moves going too far away, right? Because then those intraday trades will become longer term trades. Therefore, I want to make a note for myself for when it comes to the S&P, okay? When it comes to the S&P and looking at the 60-minute time frame, so we have one UFO located at 29.87. Okay, so 29.87. And the next one would be located at 29.71. 0.5. Okay, so in a normal case, I would have not turned these settings to false. You would have this setting as true, and you would be able to find some UFO somewhere in here, you know, a beautiful green emerald color UFO, and you would use that one for target. Okay, but we don't have any. So because we are doing intraday trades, and I don't want to convert intraday trades into long-term investments or swing trades, then I had to turn on that setting from true to false to be able to identify whatever UFOs are here, which are of a lesser quality. And because they are of a lesser quality, you saw a minute ago that we had 29.87 and below we got 29.71.5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore the 97 and I will use 71.5 as my target. Okay, still that's pretty demanding because we are talking about you know, like 30 points lower. Okay, but you know, I'm okay with that because we also know that when the markets fall, they fall harder and faster than when they go up. So you know, if the market is gonna keep pushing, especially at the beginning of the day, we may have a very strong push bringing us closer to that point. And if we don't reach 71, you know, we'll keep trailing stop to maximize the most we can the reward. If some of you were to choose to use 97, I could understand that, but you may end up capping your profits. Okay, so what I'm trying to find here is a little bit of a balance, given the fact that this situation is not that common, where you don't have any UFO close by, okay, and you still need to find one for you to use as a target. And because we are doing intraday trades, you don't want to convert the intraday trades into longer term investments or swing trades, and therefore I had to change that setting. Okay, having said that, I'm not going to use 97, I will use 71.5. Which is the second UFO, because those UFOs are of a lesser quality. Okay, so I'm explaining all of this quite quickly. We've seen that before, by the way. It doesn't happen so often, but we've seen it before, and therefore that's going to be the target that I would set for the S&P. Okay, so with the NASDAQ, okay, I'm going to work on parallel with those two trades. We have the same climate, prior close below the average, DMI, ruby color DMI confirming the market going down. So we have a down market which is confirmed. This is the climate. Therefore, in a climate like this, we want to be shorting. So because the climate is confirmed, we will switch to the 60-minute time frame, enable the AutoUFOs, and look for the next green UFO. Let's see if we have anyone in the NASDAQ. In the NASDAQ we do. We don't need to change settings. And with the NASDAQ NQ, in the 60-minute time frame, we will be talking about 78.88.5. That would be the target, okay, for this falling market as we speak. Okay, so now that we know what are the climates and what are the targets, okay, our beautiful flowchart, it's telling us that okay, now it's time to combine the common and the edge timeframes, looking to define our entry, and let's see if we can find a valid one. Okay, so what is a valid entry? A valid entry would be an entry done using some UFO that is lining up with the average price that we find in the common time frame. That's why we combine the common time frame below with the edge time frames above. So the common time frame below, it's telling us the average for the NASDAQ is 79.47. 47 is more or less here, isn't it? So let me click on that one to see what is the bottom part. So the bottom part of this one is 79.45.75. Okay, so this is and the top part is 54. Sorry. So certainly that UFO is engulfing. Okay, that EMA, isn't it? Therefore, this particular UFO right here qualifies as a valid entry. Okay, so if you want to be very conservative, you may go for the inner circle, which is 48. Okay, in my case, as I always do in the sessions, I'm just gonna go for the bottom part of that UFO, which is 79.45.5, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, 79.45.75. I was mistaken. Here is the value. Okay, 79.45.75. Okay, so let's go ahead and enter this trade. So I'm gonna enter this trade with two contracts. Okay, at this point, based on the order flow, we will need to do a size calculation. Okay, and I will come up with tools to alleviate this process and be able to do this very quickly, okay? The stop, I didn't say it, but of course we all understand is going to be that above that 54 that I was pointing at, isn't it? We identify the stop on the edge time frame. And again, for the size, I'm just going to go mechanically, as I always do in the sessions, with a size of 2 contracts, okay? Which again, in your case, you would need to calculate your specific size, okay? So right above 54 is going to be the stop. 45.75 is going to be the entry, okay? And we're going to go with 2 contracts. I will go with 2 contracts. Make sure you use your right size for your case. So I'm entering a short order with 2 limits, 1 stop. The limit price is 79.45.75. We just said the stop is going to be above 54. So 54.25, 79.54.25. We also said the final target for the NASDAQ would be 788.5. Okay, this is what we said right at the beginning. Okay, and the only thing I have pending to calculate is my safety target. Okay, which is the next step on the flow chart. Okay, safety target. Okay, for me to execute, and optionally, some of you may use reactive timeframes. I will not. Okay, I will just go for the trade without waiting for that much evidence. Okay, so I'm gonna turn on my calculator just to make no mistake. Stop is 54.25, entry is 45.75. We're talking about 8.5 points of risk. If I project this below the entry, which is 79.45.75, that would give me 37.25. That would be my 1-to-1 safety target. Okay, 37.25, not 75. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so by doing that, I'm just gonna enter this order here in the system. Click yes. I am in. As you can see, I got the entry right here, which is the UFO. The stop is right above. Safety target is exactly 1-to-1, same distance from entry to the upper stop and the bottom target, same distance, isn't it? And then finally, I got my final target at 88.5. Okay, so the trade is in, and in that particular trade, we are just like around 5 points away from the entry. Okay, and we'll see if that happens. Okay, while we're doing that, okay, of course, we know that, but I have to say it. We have the sand clock here, right? What does that mean? That, you know, we need to keep monitoring this common time frame, which in this case is 15 minutes. So every time we have a close, we'll have a new value for the average, okay? And that may invalidate the trade or may confirm the trade is valid, okay? Because once we have a new close, that moving average will change. And remember, we need to make sure the average falls within that UFO, which starts at 45.75 below and ends at 54 above. And we need to make sure that the average remains in that price range for this trade to be valid. Okay, so we seems to be around 4 points away. It would be very nice for the market to, you know, get a little excited, just move up, just to hit our own field orders and give us a feel, okay? And if not, we'll keep monitoring that. So hopefully you guys are with me. If there is any question about this trade, please let me know, because I'm gonna switch to the S&P to see if we also have an opportunity on the S&P and plan for it. And by the way, if we do, and we execute 2 trades, one on the S&P, one on the NASDAQ, make sure to use half of the size, because those are correlated markets. And when you are given 2 opportunities at the same time, which sometimes happen, not always, but sometimes it does. So it's important to not to use the normal size, because then you would double your risk, given the fact that those markets are very highly correlated. Okay, good, perfect. So we are in. We have we're not in. The order is in, I meant, and we'll be monitoring this NASDAQ trade. In the meantime, let's go back to the S&P. So with the S&P, we did some planning already. We already checked the climate. We already checked the target. Just out of reminding it to you, 2971.5 is the target that we set using the 60-minute time frame a few minutes ago. And what we're going to do now is look for the entry based on the flow chart, isn't it? So 09 it's the value, okay? 09 is the value, and here we got 09, okay? So certainly, we do have some UFO around this price, okay? And let me take a look at the bottom part of this one. This is 11. The top part of this one is 1025, okay? 1025. So this one is gonna be a little bit in the tricky side, in the sense that if we take a trade on this one and it works, fantastic. But if it doesn't work, okay, and it goes up, we may get stopped out, okay? And the moment we get stopped out, this would be 10.5, isn't it? One tick above 1025 is 10.5. So the moment we get stopped out on this one, if we do end up stopped out on this one, if the market was to keep going just 1 point higher, it would hit that UFO. Sorry, not that 1 point, 2 ticks higher, from 10.5 to 11. We would hit the next UFO, and therefore we may see price go slightly above the UFO and then fall. Okay, so you have two ways to deal with this, which is to plan two trades. So deal with the trade on the left like an independent trade, assuming that the average will be pointing at 11 when you get there, which I don't think so. Or kind of merge this UFO with that UFO. But if you do that, 12 would also overlap with this UFO, okay? And the top of this UFO would overlap with that UFO, and therefore you will end up with a huge, massive kind of like huge range from entry below to stop above, creating a very high risk on the trade. So even though this trade could end up being a little frustrating if we were to be stopped out on this first UFO just by one tick and then it falls, that certainly, we are human and that would not feel good, isn't it? But I'd rather get this, okay, and have a higher probability of reaching my safety target and remove the risk of the trade than, you know, just looking at this trade like a massive risk trade because I need to merge and combine so many UFOs all together. Okay, so therefore what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be planning a trade on this bottom UFO, and that would be the plan. Okay, so let me check. Oh, did we go? So what is the high? Oh, we went one tick away. We missed the entry by one tick here on the NASDAQ. Okay, so hopefully this collection of green UFOs will push the price back up and we can get a feel. Okay, and actually that would be a very, very nice type of setup, in the sense that having price come back down and removing many of the buy on field orders before getting filled, that would be very, very nice. Okay, so let's see if that's going to happen, and if this happens, okay, probably we would also reach this one. So let's go ahead and plan for this trade. Okay, so when planning for this trade, we're going to have an entry at 0825. That's going to be the entry. Stop would be 10.5. So we're talking about 2 points and 25. Okay, so 2.25 points. That is the risk. Okay, so I'm just gonna, because the S&P, I can do things with the matrix easily. I'm just gonna go ahead and use the matrix. We said the entry is 08.25. So I'm just gonna click. Okay, place my stop in the right place, which is 0.5. Oh, I just went too far down. 0.5, and I'm gonna have safety target 06 if I'm doing this correctly, and final target we said 2771.5. Okay, again, I would be shocked if we get there. It's very, very low. I mean, we could get there, but what I mean shocked is I would get shocked if we get there intraday. Okay, so very likely what's going to happen if this trade works well is that we end up, you know, switching mode to trailing stop mode, and we keep following price, and I don't know, maybe in the end we get stopped out somewhere, you know, 29.95, something like that, which would be a great trade. But I'm going to have to respect the UFOs that we had on the screen, because that's what I had, and I want to be objective. I don't want to plan targets just based on how I feel. I certainly need to keep myself objective, and the app told me that 71.5 is the place. Okay, so that's what we are doing. So quick look at the NASDAQ. What is happening? We are still, yeah, we did remove some of the green. So some of the green is gone. That's very nice. That's a very nice news. Okay. But we still need the market to come back up. Okay, so good. By the way, a few minutes ago, 4 minutes ago to be precise, we had a new close, and I didn't review it since I was planning the S&P trade. So let's review that this value, which is 47, is still within our range. Okay, and it's still, as you can see, it's still valid. The bottom part is actually 45, isn't it? And the top part is 54. So certainly our new value for the EMA that was updated like 5 minutes ago in the last 15-minute close, that value is still valid. So the trade with the NASDAQ is still valid. And with the S&P, I also want to double check. So with the S&P, we have 08. The current value is 05. If it goes up to 08, that's 2 points and a half more or less. So 2 points and a half may bring this up to 309, and 309 is certainly in the middle of the UFO. So we are still fine with both trades. The S&P and the NASDAQ are still valid. Okay, so we are gonna be disciplined and patient and wait for the trade to happen. And if it doesn't happen, then 15 minutes from now, actually 10 minutes from now, we'll have a new update on those values because we'll have a new close on the 15-minute time frame. And as you know, back to the flow chart, everything restart every time we have a close on the common time frame. Okay, so we're gonna be just running that cycle, that repetitive mechanical process as we do. Okay, let me take a look at the chat box. What do we have? Dirk, I asked for sending it to me, but nothing so far. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Dirk. Maybe you were answering the question to someone else or something. Bojan, NASDAQ went to the entry to the tick, but didn't fill me. Yeah, and you have to remember, Bojan, and I know you know this, but I'll remember it to the group. Oh, you haven't received the flow chart there? So that's probably a mistake on our side. If you don't mind to resend an email, we'll make sure you receive that. Probably it's just been a human error on our side there. Apologize for that. But coming back to Bojan, remember everyone, futures is a market traded in an exchange where the trading rules for that exchange is first in, first out. Okay, so it's not like in the stock market or the options where retail orders go in front of institutional orders. That's not the case in the case of futures. Futures, no matter the size, is first in, first out. So if someone has placed orders before you, those other guys got filled, and that's why you missed the fill. Is that making sense? This is something that happens quite often in futures because they are traded by many people, and it would be, let's call it such a coincidence that you had your order in front of everyone else, given the fact that everyone else is millions of people, right? So normally, for you to guarantee being filled in futures, normally you will want to see on the chart the price of that futures markets to exceed by 1 tick the line where you have the order. If it exceeds by 1 tick, it means that for sure you have got filled. Does that make sense? It may not need to be the case, again, if your order was in place soon enough, but because it's first in, first out, that's how you know for sure, okay? Good. Thank you for that, Dirk, and also thank you for that, Maka, as well. By the way, Maka, we have done a little bit of a visual improvement to the flowchart. So since you have it posted on Discord, maybe it would be good if you could send a reminder email as well, so we can send you the updated version, which is the same. It's just a little cuter, if you wish. So you can have that one posted. That would be even better. Okay. Good. Okay. So yeah, everything seems to be the same. Well, actually, not the same. We got more green go away. Still a little bit of green still here, right? So again, it's good in the sense that those movements to the downside, those penetrations to the downside have been removing some of those buy on field orders, either because they have been canceled and that's why price went down, or because sellers were selling at that price and therefore the few buy orders that were available. Notice how the green is gone again here too, right? So that's very good for the trade. Of course it doesn't guarantee a profit, but certainly if this market was to come back up, then it should have a very easy fall because there is nothing green to stop it from falling, right? And we have the market climate in our favor too, so the direction should be the right one, the timing should be the right one, and the trade should be a good one, okay? But we need to wait for price to come back to 45.75 so we get the feel. And the same thing is happening on the NASDAQ. As we know, those markets are highly correlated. Sometimes they move a little different, but most of the time it's about the same. So the NASDAQ is like 2-3 points away from the entry. So again, we are in waiting time for those markets. So in waiting time, what do we do? Well, that's the time for us to load our Forex currency pairs and begin planning some Forex trades while we wait for the futures trades to execute. Okay, so that way we can be as efficient as possible. So on my other computer screen, I am loading the trading view with Forex charts. Okay, and I'm gonna pass this into the main screen. Here we go, right now. Okay, so we have it, here we go. Okay, so I have the minors here, so let's get organized. Let's start with the majors. I am looking at the 4-hour time frame as well as the 21. So common time frame 4-hour, edge time frame 21. Okay, so we have the right time frames here, and let's begin with the Australian dollar. Okay, you can also do this with the 60 and the 8. Most of the time, actually, I do the 60 and the 8. So today I started with the 4-hour 21, just to give you more examples, more choices as well. So that way, when we are not doing the session and you are planning your own trades, then you know how to do it yourself. Okay. By the way, notice very nice here the little clock with an alert. Okay, those are price alerts that I set up all the time with TradingView. TradingView is super cool, guys, because the alerts are on the cloud. So even though you set an alert and then you turn off your computer, whenever that currency reaches a price point, you will be alerted. You will get a pop-up on your phone. If you have the app on your phone, you will get an email. If you set it like that, you would have an alert, a visual alert on the website next time you open TradingView. And the point I'm making is that this runs even if your computer is off, because it runs on the cloud. Okay, so this is quite powerful, and it could be very useful as well for you to set alerts for when price gets close to your entries, for you to reevaluate the trade if you choose to do that. Okay, good. So nothing really happening on the equities. Nothing really happening on the equities. It keeps going lower. So two things gonna happen here. In 3 minutes, we're gonna have the market open. I am looking at two possibilities. Possibility number one, the market will open, we'll have a kick to the upside, reach to our entry, and we'll be in the trade quite quickly. Or the market will open and start pushing down. And if that's the case, it will create more UFOs that will potentially line up with the average going down, because it will be a new update for the average, and therefore we'll be replanning on the trades. Okay, so we'll see that very quickly in 2-3 minutes time. We'll have to react to that. Okay, so I got 2-3 minutes. That will not give me time to plan any trade in Forex. Okay, because it's too short, 2 or 3 minutes, especially because I need to talk while I do it. But basically, you can see that the NASDAQ could be a candidate, in the sense that we have a confirmed climate with the prior close below the average, and the DMI is red, so the climate is confirmed. The average is 96, but the entry is 86. So the Aussie is not a good candidate. Okay, so we're gonna look for the euro. The euro has a close above in the prior candle, and we got blue. So climate is confirmed. Okay, average is currently for the euro 111.42. Okay, but the UFO is 111.25. So we don't have UFO at that price. So no trade on the euro with those time frames. The pound is with a confirmed climate. The pound is being killed since the election of, well, not really the election, but well, kind of election of the new Prime Minister in the UK, Boris Johnson. And the pound is completely being killed. So we can take advantage of that. Close below the average. DMI is red. Average is 22.16. and 22.16 happens to be somewhere here in the middle. Okay, so probably I would say with the next close, which is going to be 30 minutes from now, probably that average is going to be down a little bit, and then this tiny UFO here will be a great one to plan a trade on the pound. Okay, but anyway, I'll keep going with the currencies in a minute. Okay, and by the way, the comment I just made with the pound, that you need to wait for the next candle close. This is only if you trade the 4-hour combined with the 21. If you were to trade the 1 hour combined with the 8, then you may have a trade. So we'll be looking at other time frames as well after the US market opens, which it just did. So the US market just did. We have 45. Our entry is 45. So we are fine. The S&P trade is still valid. So hopefully we have this push I was talking about. Come on, S&P, come to us. Almost there. Order that's it. Filled. We just got filled. Okay. What's going on the NASDAQ? So let's see that was the NASDAQ. So what's going on in the S&P? The S&P is still where it was. So let's see if the NASDAQ pushes down and reaches our safety target so we can remove the risk of the trade. Okay. So let's see what's going to happen. Normally, beginning part of the day, we tend to be volatile. Okay. So you can see it's going up. It was flashing some lows, and it was showing a lot of golden all the way to 100 plus. So this is the normal beginning of a trading day, and it could be a little bit in the stressful side for new traders. Okay, and therefore I made this comment before to some of the new traders in the group. Maybe more relaxed. To new on-field orders to buy are kicking in. As you can see, that's a very bad news. Okay, that's a very bad news. What's happening to the S&P? Still in the same place. Okay, so yeah, so we'll see what's going to happen with this trade. And what I was saying again, coming back to the mindset of a trader. Okay, so beginning part of the trading day is normally volatile, and it will challenge your emotions. Okay. Notice how it was looking very bad, now it's looking better. So again, if you want to avoid this type of excitement or stress, depending on your level of experience, it's always could be recommended to wait for like 10 to 20 minutes for the market to open and then begin trading. I have also shared many times in the session that I personally love this. Okay, so I have zero problem allowing this to happen. Okay, and let's see if we get to our safety target number 1. We just need a little extra push and we're gonna be there. Come on. That's it. Give it to us. Be nice to us, NASDAQ. Little more. Okay. And we got, by the way, we are about to, that's it. We just reached safety target. So we're in a free trade now. No risk in this trade. Okay. So no need to apply the time stop. I was zooming on the chart to apply time stop. So no need to do that anymore. Okay, and now what we're gonna be doing is trailing stop as we got more evidence. Okay, so 46. Okay, 46, and it's always a little uncomfortable to trail stop with the matrix for the NASDAQ because the price point is a low price point. Okay, so but I'm gonna move this to 46. Okay, which is right above that UFO right here. Actually, it should be 45.75, which happens to be my entry nicely. Okay, so I am now trailing my stop right here on top of that UFO that just formed. Okay, and we just had a UFO form here as well, but unfortunately I was not fast enough to trail, so it's okay, we'll just leave it like that. Okay, and we are experimenting and enjoying a little bit of golden color here, which is a very nice color to see when trading. Okay, by the way, I think I said once that I changed the color by default. It comes with green, but I changed it to golden because it's a little bit of a less exciting color. Okay, so we just got stopped out on top of that UFO, that form, which means that one portion of our trade didn't lose money, the other portion of the trade made all that size. Okay, so I believe with 2 contracts, this trade ended up with $170 of profit, and this trade is over. Okay, so this is the first trade of the day. $170 of profit was the result with 2 contracts. So what's going on with the S&P? So with the S&P, we got the average is of 7. So if the S&P goes up, it's going to be around 08. Our entry is 08. So the entry that we had is still valid. So I'm going to leave this trade alone because this trade is still valid. With the NASDAQ, what's going on? We got 46. So 46, we don't have any UFO around 46. So the trade we took is the one we took. And therefore, we are done with the NASDAQ until 10 minutes from now, which is when we'll have a new close on the common time frame. And we may have still a climate going down, or we may have a change of trend. And therefore, the climate changes from down to up. We'll see that. In the meantime, with this crazy volatility right at the market open, we did manage very well the risk. We didn't get hurt. We made a profit. So good job if you are with me on this, guys. How many of you did it? Okay, I would love to see many of you confirm that you did it. Okay, and by the way, I would be very happy as well if you did with paper money. Okay, this is not about greed, but this is about having you practice so you develop a certain level of skill. Watching will not hurt you, but you would certainly develop yourself much more as a trader if you practice. Okay, so it doesn't matter to me if you did it in sim or you did real. Of course, it's more exciting if it's real. But from a coaching point of view, if you wish, I'm your guide here. So I would really like to know if you did it. Okay, Anthony, you did it with the micro very well as well. Mario, you did it. Great trade, very good. Geneva as well. Frank, Bojan, love it, guys. Love it. Perfect. Okay, so now the S&P is going back up. Okay, so you guys set yourself up for this other trade. Again, the comments I was making about this trade is that I don't think we're gonna reach 71.5. Okay, but that's where the final target is. Okay, so let's see if we can hit our entry and from there have a 2-point drop, reach our safety target, and from there let's enjoy whatever the market gives us. Okay, so enter the trade, remove the risk very quickly, and then ride the move, whatever the move is. Okay, that's the philosophy. So let's see if we are allowed to do that. Okay, so 08 is the current value for the average. Our entry is 08.25. We're about to get filled. Here we go. Come on, S&P, give us a fill. 2-3 ticks. Okay, like 1 point away, 3 ticks away. Let's see if we get a fill. Okay, come on, S&P. You're in on the S&P, Mark, very good. So I'm guessing that then you got the entry just a little lower than mine, okay?
Order filled.
Got it, we just got filled, guys, okay? So we're in the trade, S&P falling, 1 point away from safety target 1. Let's see if we get there. Again, as we know, climate is in our favor, the moving average is in our favor, the on-field orders are in our favor. So we are doing what the flow chart suggests, okay? We are applying the methodology religiously, mechanically, okay? And, we are just waiting to see what the final outcome would be, okay? A little bit of challenging green UFOs kicking in. You can see that some large market players are entering to the long side. So maybe large market players that are short from way before the market open, that are taking profits, and that buying action is creating a little bit of move to the upside. So we'll see if it's only profit taking or it's real buying. If it's real buying, we'll likely have a close above the average, and therefore we have a change of climate. And we'll have to take it and replan new trades on the opposite direction, okay? But because the climate is still pointing down, so what's normally going to happen is that this is just going to be, some buy orders coming from large market players, but it's not going to be too critical, and therefore the market will normally continue moving down. So we are ready for whatever happens. And talking about being ready, we are also ready to apply our time stop methodology, isn't it? So we are now in the second candle, okay? So 3 candles will be the triggering point. So this is the second candle. If we don't reach our safety target, which is 3006, in 1.5 candles from now in the chart on the left, which is the minute time frame chart, 2 minutes, we will now be in time stop mode and attempt to exit the trade for either a small profit or a break even, okay? So we are just gonna be keeping an eye on that chart on the left, okay? hopefully we'll reach safety target 1 before that, okay? That would be ideal. So we would find ourselves like before in a risk-free trade and ready to move down towards that 71.5, which is very idealistic, but that's the target, okay? So here we go, come on S&P, okay? 3 ticks to safety target 1, 2 ticks to safety target 1, okay? Just a little more S&P and we'll be there, okay? In the meantime, keeping an eye on the clock. Keeping an eye on the clock as a new candle is about to form on the left. Okay, 2 ticks away from safety target 1. Come on S&P, 1 tick away, that's it. Safety target is reached. The risk of the trade is removed. We cannot lose anymore. And now we are gonna be in trailing stop mode. Okay, so talking about trailing stop mode, a new UFO form here. 0975. This is going to be the new location for the stop. Okay, so if this market condition actually changes and we get stopped out, normally you would expect a break-even trade, but you know what, it would not be a break-even, it would actually be a profit. Nothing major, but better to have a small profit and have a break-even, right? So just following the rules and ready to do whatever the flow chart dictates that we should be doing with discipline and so on. Very good. Yep, I can see you guys are with me. Very good, Bojan. Very good, Mark. Very good, everyone, guys. Okay, good job. So again, now we are looking for signs of evidence, right, of new orders coming in. This is described here in this one, right? So UFO trailing exit. So new UFOs form. So we keep trailing the exit. That's what we're doing. So a new UFO form here a minute ago, right? On the chart on the right. Now it's gone, which means that many of those on-field orders got filled, okay? So those on-field orders that got filled will either make it fall or go up. And therefore we'll be very glad to reach that stop, because that will likely mean a change of climate, okay? And we will be out for a profit with a change of climate that, you know, it's not the ideal outcome. The ideal outcome, of course, is to reach the final target, but it will be a gladly welcome, given the fact that if we have a change of climate, then there's no way we're going to reach the target. And in a situation like that, exit for a profit is certainly, you know, a joyful ending, isn't it? So just waiting for it. Okay. You can see there is a fight here, and by the way, this type of price
Order
action,
filled.
we just hit the stop, okay? So we made on this move down, let me try to capture that. So on this move down, 06 to 05.25, so we made 2.25, and on the move up, we lost 125. Okay, so we are netting 1 or 2 ticks on this trade. So basically, it's just a tiny profit instead of break even. Okay, so what do we have from now? You know, we have these profits that we made, like $170, something like that. It was before, I believe, and now we made another, I don't know, let's call it $25 or something like that. Okay, and we are out of the trade and ready to replan trades. Now, of course, because now we have this challenging situation on the S&P, and with the NASDAQ again. We are now trading above the average while the prior close was below, okay? So we are in front of a likely situation where climate is about to change, but we cannot call that yet. That would be speeding, okay? Meaning that we still need to wait 2 more minutes, which is the time left for that 15-minute time frame, okay, to give us an update on the closing price being either above or below. Okay, so 2 minutes from now, we will know which is the direction in which we should trade, okay? Okay, just looking at your comments. Great, perfect. Very good, everyone. So let's keep going. We have, looking at the clock, 1.5 minutes. Okay, 1.5 minutes before the next close. So I'm just gonna keep looking at the Forex currency pairs. Okay, just keep looking through the list, maximizing my efficiency with my usage of the time. So New Zealand dollar, confirm, climate going down, average 66.22. 66.22 is above those red UFOs. But, if the Kiwi goes back up, okay, it's not gonna be 22, it will be more than 22, let's call it 24, 25, and guess what, we got 24. Okay, so we're gonna be planning a trade using that UFO to short the New Zealand dollar in a down market as a confirmed market climate. Okay, so we're gonna plan on this after we have an update on the equity index markets, where we just need 30 seconds for this to happen. So I'm gonna go back to TradeStation, look at what's going on. So what's going on is like, it's looking like we're gonna have a close above, but careful, unconfirmed market. The close is above, the DMI is red. So based on the flow chart, we're gonna look for the final target, but we will do it on the same common time frame, not the next, because it's an unconfirmed climate. Okay, so that means that we're gonna go back. Okay, TradeStation. Here we go. So we're gonna go back. Okay. So the close is above, very good. Climate is unconfirmed. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the common time frame, enable AutoUFOs. Okay, but we're gonna leave it as 15. Earlier we changed it to 60. Now we're gonna leave it as 15. And you can see that if you were to go long, the target on the S&P would be 21.5. Okay, so 3,021.5. It's the location for the target, which is like 10 points above. Not bad actually. 10 points above. There is room for movement. And on the NASDAQ, what do we have? We have the same story. The close is above. Okay, close is above. And the DMI is red. So unconfirmed climate. And therefore, we're going to enable AutoUFOs on the same 15-minute time frame. And for the S&P, we are looking at targets located at 83.75. So 79.83.75. Which is not bad as well, like a little less than 20 points above. I mean, better on the S&P, but anyway, it's good in both. Okay, so back to the S&P. Average is 3,008. Do we have any UFO around 3,008? Not here, not here, not here. So we have no entry UFO on the S&P. Do we have any entry UFO on the NASDAQ? So the NASDAQ is 53 something. So 53 something. Well, yes, we do have that UFO. Unfortunately, it's very wide. You know, I mean, we are shooting for a target of 20 points, and this UFO is 20 points wide. So my friends, you are guessing it. I'm not going to take this trade, even though the rules would be met, but the performance would be a complete waste of time. Okay, so we are not here to waste our time. And this very wide UFO is basically killing what the trade could have been. Okay, so we're gonna be patient. A few minutes from now, you know, this is when the flow chart tells you, right? If you don't have a valid entry, so what do? Wait for new UFOs to form, right? And so what does that mean? That we're gonna be looking at those charts, and don't be surprised, it's a few minutes from now, you have a beautiful UFO right here, okay, something like that. Green color, okay, beautiful emerald color, okay, and we are ready to take the trade as price comes back here, okay, and ready to ride it back up, okay. So this is what we're expecting, this is what we are anticipating. We're not gonna guess this is gonna happen. We're gonna wait for the evidence and have those UFOs show up on our screen and then plan the trade, okay. So while we're waiting for this to happen, back to the currencies, we said we were going to plan a trade on the New Zealand dollar, okay, we're gonna be shooting for that one as an entry, and the process is the same, okay, the process is the same. So down climate on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar, planning a trade with a target located on the daily time frame, so not 4 hour, daily time frame. So the target would be located at 65.62, okay. So for the New Zealand, okay, for the New Zealand dollar, we are looking at a final target located at 65.62, right? 65.62, that was the target. Well, actually, it's 63, okay. But also because it's a buy order, okay, Remember, because it's a buy order, you need to add 2. So the 63 becomes 65. Remember, decentralized markets, we add 2 for the Forex, okay, for the buy orders. So disable UFOs, we got the target, go back to the 4-hour, so we don't get confused, okay? And now we need to look for the entry, okay? And we already said we're gonna be using 24 for the entry, but I want to maximize that chart because there is more to discuss. Because if I use 24, and 24 is the entry, and 31, let's call it 32, is gonna be my stop. Remember, a stop, when you short, is a buy order, so I need to add 2. So if I add 2 to 32, it becomes 34. But 34 happens to be the next UFO. So in other words, those two UFOs are overlapping each other. So I'm gonna have to treat them like it's one, and therefore I'm gonna have to plan my stop above 42. So I'm gonna have to add +2 because it's a buy order, and +5 because it's a stop. So it's gonna be a total of +7. +7 plus 42 is gonna be 49. Okay, so the stop will be 66.49. That will be the stop. So let me write it down on the screen so you guys can actually see all the parameters and place the order. Okay, so stop loss, I just said it, it's going to be 0.6649. Okay, we are overlapping those upper UFOs. Entry, we said it, is going to be 0.6624. Okay, which is that first UFO. Now we need to calculate a safety target. Okay, we need to calculate a safety target. Okay, the safety target is going to be equal distance. So from 49 to 24, we got 25 pips, isn't it? So my target will be located 25 pips. So that means that it's going to be 0.6599 if I did the math correctly. And therefore, the last thing I have to write for you guys is where the final target will be, which is what we identified earlier by looking at the chart, which is 65.65. Okay, so this, my friends, is the trade on the New Zealand dollar, okay, that you guys can execute. I can see Lisa has identified a new UFO on the S&P, so I'm just giving you 5 more seconds to take a note or take a screenshot, and from there we'll move into the S&P to see if we can plan a trade to the long side. Oh, Bojan, you're the best, my friend. Yes, quick reminder to give us a thumbs up for the video and also to subscribe to the YouTube channel and to click on the notifications bell, isn't it? Good. Thanks for that, Bojan. So anyway, back to the S&P now that we have our trade with the New Zealand dollar. So let's see what we have. Oh, okay. New UFO just formed. So what do we have? Okay, so current price is 10. The UFO goes all the way to 0775. I'm concerned, guys. I am concerned about this trade because this is 08. When the S&P goes down, okay, to 08, this may be 07. 07 may be below that figure. I'm a little concerned about the depth of that particular UFO. We may have a little bit of a problem here. So, you know, I could certainly get ready for the trade. Okay, let's do that. I'm gonna get ready for the trade, but I'm not gonna enter it until I get to see price a little closer. Okay, so I'm gonna prepare my order with 2 contracts, long, 2 contracts, 1 stop. Just get all the parameters. So I'm gonna make it 8.75. That's gonna be the top of the UFO. Stop is gonna be 30.07.5. So 30.07.5. Final target we said before 30.21.5. This is the one we found on the 15-minute time frame, and therefore safety target 1. So we got 07.5 to 75 is 1.75 points. So that's gonna be 30.10, isn't it? That would be 30.10. That's a 1-to-1. Okay. So I'm just gonna wait Okay, I'm just gonna wait. Yes, just gonna wait for a price to come closer to the UFO, and I'm gonna be monitoring that figure. If as price gets very close to the UFO, this figure is between 09 and 0775, then I'll take it. If that figure is too close to the bottom range of 0775, then I will click cancel. Okay, again, it's I just want to be careful because that UFO, it's a narrow one. Okay, and you know, again, the trade is being reinforced. I got more new UFOs forming on this time frame and that time frame too, but all of them end up with 0775, 0775, 0775. So that's my concern. My concern is not the top part of the UFO, is the bottom part. Okay, therefore I'm just gonna be monitoring that figure. Okay, hopefully price will come in less than 5 minutes, because 5 minutes from now I will have a brand new value for the average. Actually, I would love to take this trade after 5 minutes from now, because this is likely to bring the average a little higher, and therefore it's increasing the probability of the average to be above 0775. But right now, at this moment in time, I need to be careful. Bojan Jose, any plans to start incorporating crude oil? Yes, I do. I do plan to incorporate crude oil, S&P future, currency futures. We will, okay? We will. But again, I cannot do too many things too fast, okay? Because we have many new members in the community as well, and I need to make sure everybody is following. Some of you, of course, you know, you have been putting this in place in your own trading for a while, and you became masters of it, and of course you are eager for more. And believe me too. But at the same time, I need to make sure that I am respectfully embracing everyone in the group, okay? And so I'll do things one step at a time, okay? Yeah. But I mean, I can't wait myself. Crude oil is amazing. Okay, I mean, let's face it. In the last 2 Tuesdays, I believe it's been 2 or even maybe even 3. I'm not sure. We had beginning of the trading sessions, okay, that were not too fun. And now I'm being very politically correct. I'm sure some of you are thinking of different words, isn't it? So you know, this with having great diversity of markets will not happen to us, and certainly markets such as crude oil normally are fast movers, okay? Not always, but normally are fast mover. So, you know, I'll be very glad to also utilize other markets, okay? Okay, so waiting for this to happen. I have to monitor this manually, okay? So that's why I'm gonna have to stick to this screen right now. So we still got 3 minutes to go for the new update on the 15-minute time frame. Guys, how is it going out there? Please give me a little feedback. How is it going? And if you have anything to say or you have no questions, at least tell me, please, if when delivering those sessions, I'm going too fast or I'm going too slow. Just give me a little feedback about the timing or the pace, probably is a better word, the pace on how I am delivering those sessions, guys, because I want to make sure it's not too fast, so I don't lose anyone. At the same time, I may need to move fast because I don't want to miss the trade. So, but I do want to know how is it going for you guys. Mark, I am 100% sure you are following me. Okay, so I think you are being a little modest there, saying that you are rusty. Okay, I respectfully don't believe you. And I know, by the way, I know you have been away from the screens for a while, so I get your point. Okay, I'm just joking a little bit here, but yeah. Good pace is good. Pace is good. Okay, good, perfect, guys. And again, as I always say, if the pace is not good and you just feel like you feel a little uncomfortable to say it on the chat because other members said it's good, it's good, it's good, and you feel like if it's not good for you, you feel uncomfortable to phrase it, make sure you send us an email with it, okay? So we still want to know, and you can make it private just by sending us an email, okay? So that way we will know if that's not the case, and we'll keep it into consideration, okay? So 1 minute and 15 seconds for the update on the 15-minute time frame. Come on, S&P, come to us. Do you guys talk to the markets as well? Do you guys talk to your screen when you trade? I do. Can always review the session later if the pace is too fast. You're right, John. You have a point. At the same time, these are trading sessions, so the idea is to be able to have you execute together, right? Okay, 30 seconds. So in 30 seconds, which is gonna be about now, it's looking like I'm gonna have to reevaluate the trade. And that will mean that I will be looking at this figure, which is probably gonna be a higher value. Instead of 309, it may be something higher. Okay, 309.5, 310. So, okay, so it's been 309.13. So it's kind of flat, to be honest, okay? So, you know what? I'm just gonna have to keep monitoring this, okay? Price is coming to the zone. Well, actually, I was not fast enough. Yeah, I think it's gonna be valid, guys, because price came to the zone and I didn't see any risk of price getting too close to below 0775. So I'm just gonna send the order in case price does come back to kiss that zone the way it did, so we can get in the trade, okay? So we are like 1 point away from the entry, quite close, 3 ticks away from the entry. Let's see if we can take the trade. I mean, officially the session is over, guys, but let's stick together a few more minutes to see if we get a feel. And if not, you know, I understand that based on the prior 2 trades that we executed, you know how to take care of this trade. And, you know, if the market is not coming to us in a few minutes, so I guess we'll call it a day to be respectful with the schedule. But at the same time, you know, I would like to stick with you for a little longer and see if we can actually execute this trade, okay? And by the way, some of you may see this little touch here and say, oh, I missed it. No, you haven't missed it, because remember, futures is first in, first out. So to really guarantee you got a feel, price should cross that line by 1 tick, and it didn't, okay? So, you know, we haven't missed anything. And this move up actually is kind of proving the quantity of on-field orders to buy that are here. So, you know, let's give the opportunity to the S&P to come back to that 308.75, which is our entry, and that should be a nice trade running for us if that's the case, okay? By the way, when you have a new close, I didn't say it, but let me say it now. When you have a new close, okay, the prior close was above, that was a change of climate, right? And now you have a second choice. So the climate is being confirmed, right? But still the DMI is red, okay? So we are still setting targets using the 15-minute time frame. Nothing has changed there, okay? But sometimes you will see that when you have 2 closes above the average, okay, many times, if the move is powerful, which it has not been the case up to now, you will see that the DMI changes from ruby to sapphire. And when you see that change of color happen, it means that the climate goes from unconfirmed to confirm. And you need to remember that even though you have the order in the system, you may need to change the final target. Is that making sense? It's not the case, but since we're in waiting time, so I'm just using this waiting time to point at something that will happen quite often, actually. So when it happens to you, you don't miss it, because a change of climate implies change of target. It may not imply a change of entry, but it certainly implies a change of target, okay? Mark, you are a first target rate. Good practice for you, my friend. But again, you are in because you're executing this trade in a simulated account, isn't it? Remember, these tiny keys will get you filled in a simulated account, probably not get filled in a real account, okay? So keep that in mind, okay? Again, good job, Mark, and I love to see the hands-on approach and the practice, okay? Because this is how you build a skill. Yeah, remember that in a real account, probably you will not be filled yet. Hi, studies have shown that when I talk to the screen, nothing happens. Yeah, same happens to me, D-Hide. But how do I put it? we have a Spanish word, which is a beautiful word. Can I teach you some Spanish here in the session, guys? Do you mind? Instead of trading, I teach you Spanish. So there is a word, and some of you may know it. It's called cariño. It's a word that does not exist in English language, and that word is a mix of love and affection. Okay, so you know, I love to treat the market with cariño, which is love and affection, and therefore sometimes I'll talk to the market. You know, it may listen to you, it may pay attention and react to what you say, or may not. But you know, I think it's a good energy when you talk to the market with cariño and you just say nice things to the market. You know, I guess that if it doesn't help the market or it doesn't make the market to react, at least it helps with your own emotions and your own psychological approach to how you feel when you trade. Probably if you say nice words, probably you have a very positive mindset, and you know, I think it's a good thing. Okay, now if you find yourself talking too much to the market, probably is a bad thing as well. So you want to keep it well balanced, isn't it? Anyway, okay guys, I think we're gonna call it a day, because I'm not sure the market will come back to us or not, but in any case, you have the instructions for the trade. Good job executing with me, guys. Good job following the session. So we got the trade with the S&P, the trade with the NASDAQ, the current trade that is planned with the S&P, the plan with the trade with the Kiwi, the New Zealand dollar. So hopefully you guys are fine. It's Maca is cariño. I'm gonna write it so you have it written, okay? So in Spanish language, with the funny N, right? It's called cariño. I call my wife that, okay? So this is how you call your partner, just like you would say baby in English to your partner. In Spanish, you would say cariño. So again, it's a cool word that represents love and affection, okay? You can use it for your kids, for your partner, for the market, for anything you care about, okay? Anyway, everyone, you guys take care. A super pleasure to spend this session with you. We'll see you on Thursday for the longer term session. Loving it. Keep up the good work. Keep sending your emails. And if you have any question, and remember, we're here to support you guys. So speak up if you need anything from us. Speak up if you're doing a good job. We'd love to know. Speak up if you are struggling or you need more support. We need to know so we can help you, okay? Take care, everyone. See you on Thursday. Bye-bye.